Hello, Brother Krishna. Kaushik, maybe you could have Krishna Murti Jayana as co-host, please. Now you would be able to unmute Krishna.
Yes. Hello, Sister Monique. How are you?
Hello.
Namaste.
Hello.
And then good morning and good afternoon to everyone.
So, Brother Krishna, we have a question from Cameroon, from Parfait, but it seems that he's not yet on the call.
All right. I will just send a reminder. I was in touch with him about half an hour ago. Let me send a reminder quickly, Sister Monique.
Yes, so that we have a check sound.
Right.
Sound check, sorry. Thank you.
Sure.
So most welcome to all those who join from centers. And I would just ask the last one to rename themselves so that we can see from which center and countries you are. Thank you.
So we have a question from Congo Center. Brother Frank, we'll wait. Brother Parfait, if he comes in, we will have his question. Otherwise, we'll take the question from you.
So Frank would need to be co-host too, Krishna?
We could do that as a backup, Sister Monique. That would help.
That's great. So Kaushik, if you can also add Frank Kibangu as co-host.
Yes.
Thank you. So Frank, now you can unmute and you can check the sound, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to know, should the question be written or just sent directly?
No, address directly.
We will invite
okay.
you at that time. Brother Fausto is facilitating this session. At the right time, he will invite you, Brother Frank, and then you may unmute and speak.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So I will wait.
Yeah, because Parfait had the question, so this is what we add in the flow, that's why.
And Brother Frank, after your name, please add the name of your country as well.
Oh,
Okay.
Daaji is here. Hello, dear Daaji.
Namaste, Daaji.
Namaste, everyone. Good morning there.
Yeah, thank you. So many centers join. Many centers join from Europe, Africa, from many countries. So you can see, I guess, nearly 70 screens, maybe not all of them, but it's really a pure joy to meet you again. And we are looking to meeting you soon in January in Kanha with the Africa and European seminars. So Hester will present it after the meditation, but now I shall hand it over to Fausto, who is a youth from Milano, who will be the presenter this time. So Fausto.
Hello, Fausto.
Hello, Master. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes,
I would like to say a big thank to you for your new book, The Wisdom Bridge. Recently, during the Youth Milan seminar in Milan, we all received one copy of it, and everyone was so keen to go through its pages. Anything that you would like to share with all of us today about the book?
Well, where to begin? I mean, the the beginning of the book, how it all started. I like to share that very much because that is, in essence, what this book is all about. One girl, she came to see me in Manapakkam. At that time, Chariji was around, and I used to sit in the admin office, taking care of all the visitors. Master was not that well those days. And I asked her, because she was so much known to us, because she grew up in front of me. We were in New York, of course, and they were in Atlanta, but families were known to each other. So I asked her, when Beta means my dear daughter, when are you getting married? When we know each other so well, this concern just comes up. So she said, Uncle, I will get married when I'm 32, 33. Around that age, I'll get married. So I asked her a question at that time that, whom do you love the most in your family? She said, my grandmother. And I asked her why. So she gave me numbers of reasons why she loved her grandmother. She was very special to her. Then I asked her, if you delay your marriage like this and delay having children, would your children have the grandmother left? Or if at all your children may have grandmother alive, would she be able to interact with them with all her health and vigor? She will not be able to, first of all, play basketball with your children. She cannot play soccer with your children. She cannot even converse properly or sit properly. So think about it. Because what you learned from your grandparents, fundamentally, you learned how to sit properly. Grandparents always say, sit properly. This is not how you should speak. Speak softly. They keep correcting you with a lot of love. Parents, on the other side, they keep disciplining you with a lot of harshness. They are tough. But grandparents, they teach you with a lot of love. There is some level of tenderness, softness in their interaction with their grandchildren. And then I shared a story also that, these amens in Brazilian forest and Amazon forest, they have so much of knowledge of the forest and medicine related to each herbs. And they have accumulated knowledge of thousands of years, they collected from elders teaching their children. But now, children in Amazon, they're going into bigger cities for their livelihood. So what happens, whatever the elders have learned, they are not able to transfer that knowledge to children. So there is a big gap. The knowledge transfer is not happening. So there's a big gap. So we need to create the bridge between the grandchildren and elders. So the knowledge, the wisdom can be transferred from one generation to the next. Parents today, by and large, if they are lucky to be together, it is still difficult to raise a child. Imagine most parents today are single parents, at least in the West. How will they groom their child? They don't have time for themselves, nor for their children. And unfortunately, grandparents are also not around in the immediate vicinity. Very few people are lucky where they live in the same neighborhood. So now and then they do meet, but it's not always the same as grandparents, parents, and grandchildren living under one roof. So culturally, humanity is at I would say humanity itself is an endangered species. Forget about other trees and animals. We are endangered at a cultural level. So this book is all about that, how we can continue with our culture. European culture is unique. In each country in Europe has a unique culture. Similarly, United States, the original Red Indian culture, and all kinds of cultures that have come and melted away in United States. Likewise, in India, India is in the worst position today. People were criticizing the Western world the other day. I said, no, don't criticize Europe, don't criticize United States or other Western countries. They are better than Indians today. Because Indians today are aping the West with all the negatives. They are not picking up the best that Europe offers, the work ethics, the morality part of the work. The United States also, they have so much to offer as far as generosity is concerned. You think of any trouble in any part of the world, United States is ready to help. Unfortunately, people betray them now and then. That's a different story, see. But people at large are very generous in the United States. And they're quite disciplined. They have a structure of working order. They have a system. They follow a protocol. While in India, there is no protocol, there is no system, there is no discipline. But they pick up the worst from every little corner, and they retain the worst of what India offers. They pick up the worst from other countries. So I think culturally also, India is going to be bankrupt very soon. So that's the importance of this book, to transfer this wisdom to the next generation. It's a frantic effort to ensure it's not just Indian culture, but every culture on this planet is threatened.
Thank you for this sharing. I hope this book will inspire all the youth, and I personally feel it's a big challenge, but an inspiring challenge to, at the same time, unite everyone while kind of valuing all the cultures that we have. Is there anything else that you would like to share that is dear to your heart that you would like to share with us today before we move to the questions?
Well, what I like to say is that we all have begun this practice, Heartfulness way, with a purpose. Initially, we may not have started with a purpose. Initially, we may have started for whatever reason, maybe for peace of mind, maybe to remove stress, maybe you are already interested in higher values to be established in life. But now, having practiced for so many years, I wish we need to pay more attention on how to make it even better for ourselves, how I can refine my practice beyond this few minutes in the morning and few minutes in the evening, how I can let it overflow in my life beyond these hours of meditation. So it only means that my inner life that I cherish so much, the peace that I cherish so much in my heart, how can I radiate it also without any intentions? It must radiate on its own without any effort. Otherwise, it's like, you have a plant at home, which you thought you got the plant so that it will have beautiful flowers and they will have fragrance. Some of us who are practicing, we have beautiful flowers, but they are not fragrant enough. We have buds coming up, but they are not opening up like flower. So that's what I see. There is some level of inhibition, some level of lack of trust, some level of jealousies um, between all of us, I think. Remember, we were talking about, last time or previous to that occasion, we were talking about how spiritual entity is born in the brighter world. We talked about how Master keeps the Abhyasi in his mental womb for 7 months. Right? So it's like a master in constant remembrance of Abhyasi. Non-stop remembrance. It's not just we as Abhyasis are thinking of Babuji all the time, the constant remembrance. He is also restless. He is also restless in making sure how we grow spiritually. That means they're also constantly transmitting, constantly working on us, not just remembering us. Constant work is going on from their side. It is not just retaining you in the mental womb, but having you in the mental womb, they keep on nourishing us with spiritual transmission and removing the blockades. Right? But Babuji also writes there, he says, unfortunately, they escape from the minds of from the mental womb of the master. How is that possible? See, how is it that the master is not able to retain the Abhyasi? Is it his weakness? Just as we say, I remember the master as a process of constant remembrance. When we say, when he is trying to keep Abhyasi in his mental womb for 7 months, that is also constant remembrance from his side. But he says that he is not able to retain that Abhyasi in mental womb of the master. So somehow, from his side, there is no full bloom constant remembrance. It comes and goes, it comes and goes. And I have seen in my experience that what triggers this abortion? Abortion means escaping before time. What is it that triggers in the mental womb of the master that allows that particular Abhyasi be escaped from his womb, mental womb? What is it that we do that triggers that abortion? Though we love master so much, and my observation shows that not only the abortion occurs, but he is happy seeing you go away. When we do something absolutely bad, and I'll tell you what those bad things are. To us, they may not be so much, but he will be happy not to remember us also when that thing happens. He feels free. It's like a mother who what sort of a mother would say, thank God my child is aborted. It's no longer there in my womb. Which mother will cherish such a moment? I don't think anyone will cherish such a moment. But master feels absolute freedom when this thing happens, that, oh, this Abhyasi is gone. Of course, there is a tremendous pain. At the same time, there is a relief also. Once, Babuji wrote a letter also, to speak or to entertain there's such a thing of aborting is one thing. But to write someone and say, my condition, Babuji says, my condition is like a snake that has swallowed a filthy frog in his mouth. He can neither swallow it nor spit it out because he's so hungry, he wants to have it. At the same time, it's so stinking that he can't even swallow it. And that's what Babuji says, writing to an Abhyasi, my condition is pathetic. I feel suffocated having you around me. I cannot abandon you, but I wish you leave me now. This is an extreme case. Now, I do find that few people whom Master tried to cherish them, nourish them with so much of love. And what happens, like, there are few brothers or few sisters, and combination of them, they are working together. One begins to dominate and say, oh, I like to have this portfolio with me all the time. No one should come in my working thing, you see. I am doing this. If Monique starts saying, I am doing this, nobody should bother me with my work. This sort of attitude aborts you from the mental womb of the Master. And Master would go to the extent of, forget Monique. And that is our doomsday. Nothing can help you progress after that. You can, of course, progress in the mundane way, but when you talk of lofty heights of spirit, attaining spiritual entity, replicating spiritual entities, it cannot happen. So, brotherhood, unity, love towards each other, tenderness towards each other. It should be a signature of our assemblies. Tenderness towards each other, softness towards each other. And when that happens, I think then Master not only can keep one entity, one person, only Monique in his head, but he can have everybody who are working together. He can have not just one person being delivered at one time into the brighter, but he can have hundreds of people in one go being delivered in the brighter world. But then these hundreds of individuals must become one entity. They can't remain hundreds. We are, so to say, if the center of yours, center of mine and center of God, if they're all one, then what makes us different is the periphery. Dissolve that periphery. Dissolve those differences. Meaning, be affectionate towards each other so you all can merge into each other, become one unit. It also does not mean one voice, but how to respect the other person's voice and opinion so that the entire movement can become stronger. I think you guys are smart enough what I'm trying to say. Now we take up some questions.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you.
We have a few questions today. The first one is from Tijal from London. Tijal, would you like to unmute and ask the question yourself?
Morning, Master. Namaste, Daaji. This question is from referring to the session on the November 20th with youth, which you conducted. It's from a sister in Bristol. How can we increase the potency of the soul?
Well, simple thing to start with is our, nourish our soul. That increases the potency. Just how do you increase the strength in your body? Nourish yourself. Mental body, again, interact, learn, contemplate. Increasing the soul's potency is to provide pranasya pranaha, pranahuti. And we can receive this only when there is a vacuum in us. Means cleaning, thorough cleaning of ourselves. And meditate. Meditate is to receive this pranahuti, pranasya, pranaha, and that will enrich the soul, that will make it more potent.
Thank you, Daaji.
Thank you. The second question is from Parfait, this time from Africa, from Cameroon. Parfait, would you be able to unmute yourself?
Good morning, dear Daaji. We are very happy to be there today. We are very happy to share with you today. I have a question. I would like to know how Abhyazis can know that his practice is on progress. How Abhyazis can measure his progress when of his practice. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Well, when you are going from one village to another village in Cameroon, maybe you're going in a car, maybe you're going on a scooter, maybe on a cycle, maybe you're walking. How do you know that you're traveling properly? How do you know you're going in the right direction? Ultimately, you'll know when you reach your destination. Oh yes, I have reached home, or I have reached the place I desired to visit. When you begin to walk and you can't even figure out how to walk. I mean, everybody knows when they are walking properly. When they are not going around properly, let's say in a car, and the tire is flat, you immediately know that this car is not going to make it. Or there is no petrol in the car. You immediately know there is no petrol in the car. And I think the inner is even more sensitive, because the information we get from the car is from the outside. When we are on the right track or on a wrong track, that information will come from inside your heart, and you cannot miss that. You know it very well that you are on a right track or a wrong track. Being on a wrong track and still considering you're on a right track is like fooling yourself, cheating yourself. So it's not very difficult to know whether you're practicing properly or not. Whenever we have practiced correctly, there is always a satisfaction in the heart that, yes, I did my part. That should be the signature. If that satisfaction is not there, that means you have not done your meditation properly today.
Thank you for the sharing.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daaji. Thank you.
We have two remaining questions. The first one is again from London. So if London wants to ask the question.
Daaji, the next question is there a possibility of getting rid of fear completely? If so, how can we get rid of it?
Possibility is always there. And strangely enough, Babuji writes, fear was the first sanskar that we all created. That's very common to all of us. And as we lead our life incorrectly, more and more fear will get into it. The consequences of the wrong actions will always bring about fears in our hearts. Consequences of wrong thoughts also brings about fear in the heart. And you don't know when the cause will manifest as effect. Cause meaning wrong causes, wrong thoughts, wrong actions will always result in a wrong or improper effects, not as per your desire. And when the effect is not as per your desire, fear is bound to come. So now it is like purity. How can I become completely pure? Stop gathering impurity. Fear, for example, how do I get rid of fear? Create sense of belonging to God. You see, the first fear was created because of separation. Now, when we realize that I belong to God and there is no separation, this feeling of being united with God, sense of belonging must come in our heart. Then there will not be any more fear left. But if you try to remove fear, it will not go away. Trying to remove fear is like trying to remove darkness, trying to remove misery from your life. It's not going to happen. Misery is a product of absence of ecstasy in life, bliss in life. Darkness is a product of absence of light. Fear is also a product of lack of belonging. It arises out of feeling of separateness. So create that feeling of unity, union with God. And since we do not know God, surrender to Master with the feeling that let thy will be done. Whatsoever may happen, I am prepared. Fear goes away once and for all.
Thank you, Master. I see that Frank has raised his hand. Would you like to address your question? Frank?
I have one question from the Congo Center Master. Okay, the question is about someone being possessed by the evil spirit. I know this cannot happen if an Abiasi is committed and is really committed to Master. This cannot happen. What about if this happened to someone very close to us? It can be a child, it can be a brother. What will be our attitude? How can we solve that, Master? Thank you.
Common problem in with people who do believe in evil spirits. In India also, there are many who believes in evil spirits, and more so in Africa. Do they really exist? It's a questionable thing. If there is an evil, there is a good thing also. So embracing the goodness will remove the evil, just as when you have darkness and you bring a candle. Darkness will wither away, go away. It cannot exist together. Evil thing is because of the misunderstandings in life. Something happens and everything that goes wrong, you attribute to that invisible evil spirit. Earlier, when people used to have fever, they think, oh, they were attacked by some evil spirit. But now we understand it is because of bacteria, or it is because of virus, or it is because of some allergy that we have gotten that triggers the fever. As far as evil spirit is concerned, I don't think they are in a position to create fear or fear in us. One has to be strong enough. Otherwise, even a shadow at night of someone will scare you. You know, if there is some sound in the next room and you start imagining that it must be the sound of the evil spirit. But if you go there, you might find there's a mouse stuck in some table, or a cat is just trying to escape from the next room, and that is making the noise. But a person with a narrow mind will say, oh, no, that sound is from the evil spirit. And then you get scared and you might get fever and you might even get heart attack. So you see how simple belief system creates all kinds of problems. If you believe, it is there. If you don't believe, it's not there. And we as abhyasis should make sure that people don't have false beliefs.
Thank you.
That's all for now. Then also we ready to meditate now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we'll all sit now. Please start meditation. That's all. Baskiji.
Thank you, Master.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And hope to see you very soon, in the last week of January.
I think everyone is really looking forward to seeing you either virtually or in person in Kanha.
Yes. Thank you. Me too.
Thank you, Master. If everyone wants to stay a few minutes, we have an announcement in regards to the seminar. So I'll hand it over to Hester to talk about the announcement. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks, Fausto. Good morning, everybody. And last weekend in Nice at the functionaries meeting, we discussed the theme for the African and European seminar, the 21st to the 23rd of January. And the theme is peacefulness, sustainability, and service. And the idea is that we begin the preparation now with the intentions for peace, and these can be found on peacefulness.org. So we're inviting everybody to begin the inner preparation. And when we reach Kanha, we are going to, in terms of the sustainability, Dr. Rao and his team are going to help us to create a peace garden. So we'll African and Europeans will do that together. So please bring suitable footwear and clothing for doing some gardening work early in the morning. And then in terms of service, we are inviting everybody to do 1 to 2 hours of voluntary work every day. And you can choose that, whatever that is, maybe in the kitchen or in the dorms or wherever. So that, because the idea is that with our inner preparation, this is externalized in the sustainability project and in offering service. And the other idea is that as we're preparing, we're very much going to include everybody who's participating in Kanha, and please come if you can, but for those who will be joining online, but also for everybody in the world, in line with the intentions for peace, that this seminar will be carrying everybody with us in our hearts as we begin our preparations and through the seminar. So you will have received or receive in the next few days the communication about the seminar. So please register, and please register for the East Comfort Domes. All of the information is available.
and then people are welcome to stay on for Basant and then Lalaji's 150th birth celebrations. And the final thing about it is that the other way that we can all prepare internally is on the 9 o'clock universal prayer. So look forward to seeing you all then. Thanks, Fausto.
Thank you, Hasta. So thank you everyone for joining today. I think we don't have anything else to say. So I hope you'll have a good Sunday and really hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Monique and Fausto, and see you all soon at Kanha. Take care, everybody. Namaste.
Thank you to all participants, whether on YouTube or Zoom.